Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining today. Just 2 minutes to check the voice quality. Okay, so everything looks fine as I see. Hello, hello. We are going to look at what is going to happen ahead of FOMC today. As we may see, we already had the inflation numbers from the US. It is very strange the fact that despite the numbers that they are showing a slowdown in the interest rates uh, on the inflation rate, sorry, the market is reacting in an aggressive way against these currencies. So in a normal situation, we should have seen USD to be strong, considering that we are talking about big numbers. We are not talking about numbers that are in their normal movements. Inflation rate is not between 2 and 2.5, and if it slows down, it means that it is not good for the currency and for the economy. But in the current situation, we are talking about inflation rate that is very high. So if this is slowing down at this moment or it is getting stable, it is very strange that the currency that is related with the country, and in our situation with USD, we can see the USD to be weak. The problem is because it doesn't make sense at all that everyone wants to pay more for goods and services. This is a normal situation. Another problem that I'm looking at during this period of time is that everyone is interpreting the problem with the Fed, that if Fed is going to slow down with the increase on the interest rates, it means that that is going to be bad for the economy. So I don't think that that is going to be bad for the economy at all, considering that if they are going to slow down with the increased interest rates, it means that the businesses will take loans with, let's say, lower interest rates, or as a minimum, the ones that they have for the moment. So it is not a bad thing at all. And if we are going to look at what happened during these months, only the strong economies that already believe in their indicators, only those are taking further steps to slow down with the increase in the interest rates. However, the market is speculating with this topic a lot. During the previous week, we saw Australian dollar to be very weak because the Bank of Australia stopped to increase the interest rates, and they were not so hawkish. But at the end of the day, they said that we are going to look at what is going to happen with inflation. We are going to see the real impact and different things, and that is in line with the numbers that they already shared and their decision as well. But today we have also the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. As you may see, it is not expected to increase the interest rates during this moment. It was 4.5, it is expected 4.5%, and the market is anticipating a slowdown in the interest rates as well. Also, the most important part will be the Bank of Canada press conference that will be 1 hour later from the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. It will be very interesting because despite the fact that they may stop the increase on the interest rates, they may send a hawkish signal as well. So we have to be careful and to watch this, what is going to happen. It is better to trade after and not during the Bank of Canada press conference. And the topic of the day will be the FOMC. So thank you everyone for the good comments. I really appreciate your support. Also, what we are going to look at is the part with FOMC that everyone is focused today. Everyone is expecting that FOMC is going to slow down, and probably this is going to create some pressure on the US dollar. We have seen that Powell didn't move against the US dollar during all this month. However, what is important is the move of the market. So for that reason, we are going to look at the charts right now. So let's move on. The first one that we are going to look at is the dollar index. During the previous time that we are looking at the dollar index on the daily chart, or let's move better on the 4-hour chart, we are going to look at this harmonic pattern. As I have published when it was close to the bottom, we can see that price already increased and created a perfect bullish reaction at this moment. This was the movement here. But what may happen? In the current conditions, price came down, and if we are going to have supportive comments from Fed at this moment, during FOMC, we may face any type of double bottom pattern, and the chances are high that the harmonic pattern may hold and it can push the price up again. However, for the moment, this is very risky movement. We don't have anything yet. The bearish movement or the bearish continuation trend that may happen on the dollar index will be only on the daily chart. If you are going to look at this part of information, only a move below 100.8 is going to push the price down further from this point. So this is the only validation area that we may see for the dollar index to move down. In the current conditions, we have pressure on both sides. We have two strong areas here that are still holding the price. And if this is going to happen, I am expecting for a bigger ABC movement that may develop in this way. In this way. This is the bigger picture that we may have. However, we should know that we are going to face the speculation at this moment. So this is overall for the dollar index. On the 4-hour, we are bearish. Also, during the previous hour, we may see the price tested this bottom. The problem is that everyone is watching only the CPI data that just came out, as you may see, and everyone was focused only on the numbers and anticipating the movement from Fed. However, the numbers that are already released today, I don't think that they will impact the decision that Fed is going to share later during the day, considering the fact that Fed knows everything in advance. So let's see. This is overall for this movement. The next one that we are going to look at, and I want to spend some time here, is gold. As you may see on gold analysis, on the daily chart, I have pointed out some critical events that already happened related with gold. On the left part of the chart, we can see that price already reached 2074 during COVID, and it was in August 2020. We had the beginning of the war. Everything began close to this bottom, and everyone jumped on gold, and it was looking for gold in order to protect their investments. As we all know, gold and precious metals are used as value holders during crisis, during high inflation, during the problems with war like Ukraine and Russia that we already had, and we saw this bounce here. The second problem is that the price increased up to 2070 up to March, and later we can see that it moved down. But another problem that we faced during this period of time that was very strange, we saw that gold moved on the opposite direction related with the inflation. As we all know, gold as a value holder, it moves in the same direction with inflation. If inflation is going to increase, gold will increase as a value holder. But this time, this speculation was very strange. All the countries were suffering a 40-year high inflation during this month, during March, during April, and later. and you can see that gold only moved down up to September. And if I'm not wrong, the inflation began to slow down somewhere at this point. It was between October and November when we saw the first numbers from the US that inflation was moving down. So all of this movement was very strange in my opinion. I don't know why this movement happened against the trend of the inflation, but we can see that gold moved down. During this moment, we are facing the banking crisis that began close to the bottom of the chart. Price began to increase. So all of this began at the beginning of March here. Very aggressive movement, but it looks like the price is already slowing down at that moment. What is very important also at this point is that many are sharing the analysis that we should jump and buy gold. The banks are accumulating gold and different things. But is this true? So considering what happened before, I don't see something more interesting than COVID-19, the war between Ukraine and Russia, and they didn't let the price to increase above these points. So how can be possible that the price will move above this point here when everything is very, very expensive? So I don't know why this strange speculation is happening. Probably if they are going to buy options in order to protect their investments is another point, but we can never know what they are doing in reality. This is what I'm looking at right now. So these are the points, and I think that 2073 will close at this moment. Also, another perspective that I was looking at, because we are looking at the banking crisis, but on the other hand, we can see that the economies, the strong economies like US, Swiss bank, they show their power and they calm down the markets. So I don't think that the banking crisis is going to aggravate more at this moment. If we are going to look at on the weekly chart, we can see that price reached another high at this point during 2011. This was the maximum that price reached at this moment. And in 2008, it was at this point. So this is 2008. So let's suppose that the price reached 1915 during this moment, during August 11th here, 2011. It means that we are above that point and the price is already near the reversal zone. That is why I'm looking at for the price to move down. If we are going to look at for a breakdown of this wave, I'm looking at for a potential 5-wave movement that probably is going to end very, very soon. Also, in the current conditions, as you may see, for gold, also in the current conditions, was expected that we were going to look at this situation, price was going to move up and down. Probably FOMC has some chances to send the price close to the structure zone again, and probably it can move down from that point. But I don't think that we have higher chances for the price to continue to rise further. Also, what we may face is also this possible price here that can stop the increase in gold price. It has some chances to create a small barrier here, and we may see gold also to move down from this point. However, today we are going to look at what is going to happen with FOMC. what they are going to share, so the signals that they are going to send. But despite the fact that they may share different things, I don't think that gold price is going to rise further from this point. It doesn't make sense at all. So, in my opinion, we are close to a potential reversal area that can push gold down during the coming weeks, let's say, not during the coming days, because it will take time. But if we are going to look at these waves, we are in a bigger picture 5-wave movement, and we are also on a smaller picture in a 5-wave movement. Overall, we are on the 5th wave. Just one moment. So if we are going to look at this in this way, we are on the 5th wave of the 5th wave. So we are close to the end of the movement here. That is why I'm looking at for potential change in trend during these days. But everything will be clearer after the FOMC. So this is what I'm looking at here for gold. Let's see what is happening on Euro USD. It seems like Euro is still rising at this moment. What we have to be careful, because Euro is anticipating the FOMC decision, and on the other hand it is pushing up, but we have also the pressure from the structure zone. We have to be very, very careful. For the moment, we may face also any type of ABC corrective pattern that can create this movement here before the price moves higher or lower, because we can never know what is going to happen after that. We have to see the price development and more details on the chart. So let's see what is happening on the 4-hour time frame. We can see that from the CPI data that we are looking at, the price is rising and it is testing the top of the structure. We should be very careful right now. It is not the right moment to jump on any buy decision. Many can explain this, that if price is going to break through this structure, it will continue to increase further from this point. But the problem is that the price can move above this structure, it can develop for some time, and it can lose the volume and it can move down as well. So we need to see the price to spend time before it will take the next price direction. It should continue with another movement, so that is why the price has to spend time. And this is a strong reason for us to stay away from the market, because FOMC was speculated during the previous week and also during this week. This is a critical moment right now. If you are going to look at this pattern, we don't have anything at all. If you are going to consider this, so we have only the top of the structure that probably is going to create resistance, and this pattern here. But considering that FOMC is very speculative, it will be very, very difficult to initiate any trade here. Also, on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that these movements are very sharp for the moment. However, I don't think that we are going to have any bullish movement yet for the moment. I'm not expecting before FOMC this movement. The market will focus on FOMC, it will close profits, and probably before the FOMC we may see the price to come somewhere in this zone again. So let's see what is going to happen, but this is the scenario that I'm looking at. Otherwise, on any bullish breakout, we have to reevaluate the analysis again. It is not that easy to trade today. So if you don't see anything at all to trade, I think that it is better to stay away from the charts, because there is nothing to trade at all. GBPUSD, this is very strange as well. Look at what was happening with GBPUSD. On this one, we have the same pattern that I was looking at for EURUSD, this potential ABC pattern and a trend continuation trade. So this was a possible scenario. But what is happening on the current conditions? We may see that the price already broke out, but if we are going to move on a lower time frame, we can see that after the breakout that I explained before, the price came down. See, this is a sell-off that happened at this moment. However, we have to be careful. It is better to stay away from GBPUSD. From the structure perspective, this is showing that the price may increase further from this point, because on the daily chart we have this breakout already and it has chances to create this movement. But we have also to be careful, because during this moment we had the price that invalidated one pattern, invalidated the second pattern, and here we are at this moment. So we have one bearish invalidation, one bearish confirmation, and we have one bullish confirmation at this point. It is better to stay away, considering that GBPUSD already invalidated two times two different patterns after everything was confirmed. It was very strange situation, because they were very solid pattern, but it happens. And it looks like we may have the bullish movement, but we may have also the bearish movement. Also, this one is very, very complex. It's very tricky how the price may develop today. I don't suggest at all trading GBPUSD in the current conditions, considering the false breakouts on both sides and the confirmations that it has. So let's see which will be the next movement after it will confirm more. So this is what I'm looking at. Thank you so much for the nice comments. I really appreciate it. The next one that I'm looking at is Australian dollar and Canadian dollar. I shared some days ago, 2 days ago if I'm not wrong. The price was close to the bottom. The first target was already reached. And the chances in the current conditions are that the price may continue to rise further. However, we don't have any solid breakout yet. We have to be careful. We have to wait for this breakout, because on the opposite direction, let's say, we may see Australian dollar, Canadian dollar to move down again. So we are in the first critical point. All the bullish movement that we can see at this moment is related with the Bank of Canada, that probably they are going to stop the increase in the interest rates, and this is going to impact the Canadian dollar. However, everything will be related with the press conference. If price is going to create any bullish breakout above this big wedge pattern, the chances will be high that during the coming days we may see AUDCAD to increase again. So this is all for the analysis that I prepared for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. I would really appreciate your support. Please don't forget to hit the like button and follow. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all on the next live streaming. Bye bye.